It was a dark and stormy night. Well, probably. We were in Geim. The light's artificial, and the sky is just a cavern ceiling. I didn't get a chance to check the weather. I was working. The case is a classic. 10th tier rats smuggling drugs into Geim or using this warehouse to make an exchange. Easy pickings for an aspiring detective until my boss, Nappert, a real twist of a dwarf, takes a bribe. Another bribe. Another opportunity missed. What's a dwarf to do? I put my hood up and walk away in the rain. Well, it's not literally raining in Geim. I covered that already. And 2 steps down the road to bitterness when this guy bumps into me. It's midnight. Dark road, few people. It can't be an accident. I reach into my shirt pocket and find a card. A place and a time. The place turns out to be some 5th tier dive. Loud music, bright lights, smell of cigar smoke. Card games and gambling upstairs. A fight pit in the basement. Grub bugs, clubs, and mugs. Not really my scene. I'm the first to arrive, because I'm punctual like that. I sit in a private parlor room and watch as the strangest combination of creatures I've ever seen walks into the room. Armis Thrupp, Spider. Ex-diplomat suspected in a litany of assassination attempts. Willard Taffy, Dirtpoke. Former sheriff of Tumbleweb who made a bad call with big consequences and has been running from it ever since. Frode the Forsaken, Hematician. Gets weird around hats. Weird guy. Rumor has it, his hat-related rages have been the cause of all sorts of damage around the city. And the man himself, Chasm Jasper, the Gold Guardian responsible for protection of Geim against external threats and the collection of intelligence. A bigwig like that summoning a crew like this can only mean one thing. Jasper hands us each a folder. In those folders are the detailed notes of the skeletons in our closet. There's proof that I've been taking bribes since I joined the force, proof of Nappert's corruption, and I was swirled up in it because I couldn't find a way out. Jasper gives us an ultimatum. Take part in an off-book operation and have our slates wiped clean, or face the Queen's justice. Once he has our cooperation, Jasper brings us up to speed. Over the last 100 years, magic has been unstable, unpredictable, and dangerous. But with all the unrest in the world, no kingdom has been willing to leave their own borders to deal with it. Small villages have been paying the price. Her Majesty wants to help, but she can't do it officially. She doesn't want to look like a conqueror, she needs something unofficial. A cleanup crew, if you will. That's where we come in. Training is brutal. For the first day, we meet Earl Coalfoot, the Ruby Guardian, responsible for internal matters to Geim. He and Jasper run us through a number of exercises. Coalfoot obviously has no faith in us. Jasper doesn't seem much better. Pretty much immediately, Armis takes a day off. He drags the rest of us along to the circus. Turns out to be good we were there, because the circus erupts in flames. With 1 day of training behind our belts, we do our best. It wasn't perfect, but we handled it. A destructive puppet is pacified, fires are put out, and no casualties, the most important thing. That's the first time I see Jasper proud of us. He stands up to Earl Coalfoot and secures us some resources. We've been working out of an abandoned cabin. Jasper brings some people in to fix it up. In the aftermath of the circus, I find something. A single caltrop. A sign of something worse. A sign of intent. Someone is behind this incident, and I'm going to get to the bottom of it. I need information. I'm not going to get it on a remote mountain peak far away from the city. We dive back into the city. I take Willard to the station with me to dig through some files. Armis takes Frode to meet with a back alley contact to see if they can learn more. We pick up a name. Storm. We also pick up a tale. Some blue-cloaked creature trying not to be seen. Too bad for them. They tell 10th tier detective Davroid Gravelheart. I lose the pursuit. Armis and Frode get proof that Storm was on the invite list to the circus. The crew meets up and we decide Frankie, the back alley broker, is the key to finding this Storm. Lucky for us, Frankie has a vice. He's a sucker for the rotate races. We track him to the arena on the 2nd tier. I come up with a solid plan to pin him down. Everyone forgets, disregards, or misunderstands my plan. We all start the operation with a different idea of what is supposed to happen. One thrown mole later, and we get the intel we need. Storm is a code name. He's head of a guild called Storm Company, and he's an assassin, a gun for hire, a mess that needs cleaning up. Conspiracy or not, wild magic doesn't rest while we go over the facts. We leave the clues in the hands of our analyst Sarah and ship out to Hembleyhoo to access another disturbance. A weird cloud and a bunch of missing fishermen. Turns out a portal to the ethereal plane has opened up beneath the lake. On the other side, a strange woman is enslaving the fishermen who fall through. Frode and I barter with her separately. We each recover a few of the missing fishermen, though we can't save them all. I seal up the leak and close the portal. To our surprise, we weren't the only party interested in the portal. As the portal closes, we manage to upset more of those blue-cloaked creatures, the ones who tailed us before. After a brief fight in some dense fog, we capture one, Martin. Willard talks him into surrender and he cooperates. I read him a plea deal and he tells us about Storm Company. That sounds stupid to you, it sounds stupid to me too. This guy Storm is the boss of Storm Company. Elementary. But that's far from where the weirdest adventure. A few months go by when we get word of a repeat incident. We cleaned up this wild crop of illusions once already, and it's erupted fresh in a new spot. We head out, but when we arrive, I smell a rat. This isn't wild magic, it's a copycat. As sure as all 5 of my shirts are exactly the same. A valley full of illusions has been created to cover an ambush of a diplomatic company. We get to work. Surprising nobody, shortly into our efforts of clearing out the illusions and traps, we come across, who guessed it, more blue cloaks. They're expecting us. Have orders to capture one of us. It's a tense fight, but we capture a couple of them instead. We take them back to clean up keep. It's time for some answers. We split them up, and Willard and I led the interrogation. Armis and Frode take care of some wild magic. Yeah, they do that. So anyway, Willard and I do the interrogation. We learn that Storm Company has a base of operation, Shadow Peak. They're a bigger crew than I thought. They're trying to monopolize murder for hire. They need to be stopped. We learn they've got a big job coming up. Hopefully big enough that all their best warriors will be weeks away from Shadow Peak. Sounds like an opportunity to me. Unfortunately, in the middle of our interrogation, my own corrupt captain arrives. Nappert kills one of the prisoners so we can't ask him any more questions and escapes. No doubt he's in league with Storm Company and he's off to warn them we're coming. And make no mistake, we're coming.
And so it is that you find yourselves standing in front of a large bulletin board with a bunch of notes on it that Davroid has been piecing together, along with Jasper and maybe even Zephyr, one of Sarah the Analyst's aides, with all the pocket protector and all this stuff. Zephyr's been, providing push pins and little threads and stuff for Davroid. You're standing there, and Jasper says, "All right, team. Now that we're back up to speed, thank you, Davroid, for that exceptional nutshelling. Let's go over the plan. Here's what we know. We know that from the captain we captured, that Storm Company have this operation coming up. It's going to pull their people away from their base. But we also know that they've taken one of these experimental artifacts, these mana vaults. It's about the size of a briefcase, and recovering it is an extremely high priority. This thing was created by the team over at Four Guys Ventures and Vibes, and it allows people to slice excess magic off of the weave, the same way creatures just like you can. When you attune to a cipher and that little tattoo appears on your arm, that's you taking that excess magic and channeling it through yourself. This mana vault lets them channel it into consumable tablets so that they can store an infinite number of ciphers and just eat them when they're ready to release the magic. Their body channels it back into the weave, and they're able to summon magic on command. Yes, Frode. Question over here from Frode. Yes.
Are they chewable, or are you supposed to swallow them whole?
They're chewable, but you are supposed to take them with food, I think. Ritz,
okay.
Like a little Ritz cracker or something like that.
Right, not an empty stomach. Come on.
Right. I hear they're grape flavored, the worst kind. Diabolical.
Evil sons of bitches.
Recovering this vault and any tablets they've created is going to be paramount to this operation.
And do you think that the vault will stay at the keep, or do you think they'll take it to on their job?
I think that with the device being so limited and them only having one of this briefcase, the mana vault itself is going to be at the keep, but we're going to find that they've started to separate out the little tablets into maybe smaller containers that they can take with them on the job.
So they're handed out prescriptions.
Well, perhaps, yes. You could say that they could, if they could predict, we're calling them predictions for when they hand out the different
Predictions.
tablets. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bottle of
Yeah, you need
predictions.
like an expert to give you a prediction, right? Because you probably don't understand all the magic yourself. We're getting sidetracked.
Goddamn pill pushers.
We believe that Storm Company have been or intend to use this mana vault to create an arsenal of ciphers for themselves. I cannot stress how important it is to recover it. We don't know where it will be in the keep, but luckily we do know a little bit about the layout of Shadow Peak. Now, at the same time, as we've discussed, there's this operation coming up in Udril. Luckily, we've been able to rope in some backup. And so Earl Coldfoot and the Ruby Guardians are going to take care of what's happening in Udril, following up from the diplomatic envoy we sent. They're going to go as if they are kind of backing up that envoy, providing additional protection, and then try and foil the operation from within Udril. The Queen decided that this would be best on account of the number of civilian casualties between the two different teams.
What?
I agree. We should be the ones doing it, but I don't make the rules. Now, the next thing that we know is that Nappert, your lovely boss, has most likely warned Storm Company that we're coming. With that in mind, we have to assume that a counterattack is imminent. It's been 24 hours since his escape, and we can't really take anything for chance. So with that in mind, I've actually stepped up the watches. At that moment, a little aide kind of runs in, one of the wardens, and like whispers into his ear. He goes, in fact, we've just heard that we've not heard back from our lookouts in about 2 hours. So everybody brace yourself!
The hell is this?
The world of Urda has regressed, Jasper. Whatever else happened 100 years ago, magic is wild now, and that's dangerous for everyone. If I send soldiers or even the Guardians, the world of Urda will see a conquest no matter what I say. But we can't control a mercenary company.
Okay, what are you proposing?
Am I supposed to look at the camera, look away? I don't understand these things.
If you're doing something wrong, I'm gonna find you.
And then he just pretends to fall over and goes, "Ow, I have been injured."
You hear him say "King me" as he throws down a full house on the tape. He looks pretty feeble, but one time someone saw a kid try and mess with him and he slapped him really hard with the cane.
So they're supposed to be what? Some kind of arcane janitorial squad? Who's gonna lead a team like this? No, don't look at me! Welcome back to the Winged Badger Tavern, where friends tell stories. I'm Josh, your Winged Badger Game Master. I'm joined by some of my friends. Friends, introduce yourselves. We'll start at that end of the table and come back and we'll end with Jake.
Sounds good. Hello, I am Trevor. I play Davroid Gravelheart, a Tier 4 Dwarven speaker who separates mind from body.
And I'm Mike, and I play Armis Thrupp, a Tier 4 sharp-eyed spider speaker who works in the back alleys.
Oh, hello, I'm Frode, played by Cleo. I'm Frode the Forsaken, if you will. I'm a tongue-tied habitation explorer who fucked around and found out. A little bit of combat flavor.
Hello, I am Jake, and I play Willard Taffy, the Tier 4 exiled dirt speaker who throws with deadly accuracy.
And I'm Josh. I play everybody else. Now, forget about all that fun intro stuff. It's getting intense out here as the first kind of explosion rocks. You hear a couple of gunshots echoing through the mountain range outside of Cleanup Keep. And in that brief moment of tension where everything kind of slows down, the adrenaline hits your bodies, you realize like, oh shoot, we were standing, we were talking, now we're in combat. Each of you has this moment where you lock eyes with Jasper, and he yells over to you guys like, I'm not gonna lie to you, this is gonna be deadly, but if you make it through this, I will personally see to it that your leverage is provided back to you. This is the end of the road. Pull this operation off, and it's all good. Now get out of here and get to Shadow Peak. We'll handle them. Armis,
Let's go.
You have a little deputy a deputy warden who has been assigned to you kind of as like an attaché or a learner. And so that person runs up to you and goes, what should I come with you or should I stay here? What would you like me to do?
Come along, friend. You're
all right,
here for the ride.
This is my first combat. I'm sure it'll go great. As all of you are kind of running through, Cleanup Keep is not huge, but it's not tiny. You are probably upstairs, but you're going to leave through the basement. And so as you head downstairs, you head through the armory. As the Gold Guardians have moved into this space and kind of taken over the space a little bit better, the armory has been beefed up. And so each of you on your way out has a chance here to grab one artifact to take with you, one cool item.
Yeah.
And you can flavor it for me, but we're going to roll for what its actual power level is. So one at a time going around the table. We can start with, let's start with Cleo. We'll pick like what your cool magic item thing that you get is, and then we'll roll for power level, and then we'll kind of move around and see what everybody grabs.
All right. Frode dips around. He doesn't have a lot of time, so instead he sees a staff, and he grabs it, and the staff hums with energy, and it seems to shrink and grow in his hands.
What does it do?
It is a staff that will grow to any shape and size as long as he's touching it. It's like it can just go big, thick.
Oh, long, like an extendable
short.
rod,
Yes.
basically? Okay. Why don't you roll a d6 and add your highest edge, and that's what the level of your artifact will be.
Cocked there.
And actually, the rest of you can roll the d6 and add your highest edge, because that's what your artifact level will be, too.
It's just a 4.
It's a level 4 artifact. Now roll a d8.
A D8. I barely cocked that die. D8, I got a 2.
Okay, so a d8 is going to be your depletion die. So it means every time you use this item, it has a chance of failing or breaking.
Okay.
So you'll roll a d8, and if you roll a 2, that's the number where it breaks.
Right.
So you can make that note for yourself. So it's a level 4 object or artifact. It's an extendable rod that you can choose. So in one action, it will change to whatever length, essentially, or size you want it to be. And when you do that, roll a d8. If you roll a 2, it works this time, but that's the last time it works. Let's do Jake. Jake, Willard Taffy running through, there's kind of dust being shaken loose from the ceiling. There's the kind of the echoing of distant explosions. What's Willard looking for here in the little armory?
Willard will run in, and he's looking around, and he is wearing his duster, his black clothing again, ready for this infiltration. And he looks down, and he realizes he forgot to put on his boots. And so he's looking around this armory being like, oh, boots, I have something for my feet. And he sees a dark black set of cowboy boots.
Let's go.
And with spurs on them. And he goes and immediately puts them on. And if possible, something that I love from a different RPG system that I think would be fun if Willard had something similar to like Boots of Spider Climb.
Yeah.
Something where he can like wall run and throw his knives,
so
something like that.
What level is your artifact? 1d6 plus your highest
I got a
edge.
4.
Okay, so they are level 4 Boots of Climbing, and what that means is it will essentially ease the task by 4 steps. So climbing would be a speed or a strength task you would choose. And then whatever the difficulty is, if you use the boots, you'll ease it by 4 steps, and then you'll roll your depletion die. So roll a d8 to see what number you're trying to avoid.
Okay. Trying to avoid a 6.
Great. So you'll roll a d8. It'll work either way this time. And then if you roll a 6, this is the last time they work. They'll basically fall into disrepair and need fixing. How about Trevor? Let's talk about Davroid Gravelheart.
So he's looking through this armory, and he realizes they're lacking in defensive capabilities. So he's going for a shield, which he can throw to one of his party members, and it'll essentially like animate and
Oh, cool.
be like a protection shield they don't have to hold.
Amazing. So Davroid grabs a shield. What level is the animated shield he grabs?
I got a 4 and my highest edge is 3, so 7.
7. Wow. So that is a shield that will soak up a total of 7 hit points of damage before it won't break, but like the magic on it will fail and it'll just return to you.
Okay.
And then your next recovery roll, you can use it again.
Cool.
So it's sort of like mage armor in that way.
Yeah.
And then roll your d8 to see what your depletion number will be.
7.
7. Great. So as long as you don't roll a 7, it'll keep working. And Mike, we come over to Armis Thrupp. Armis, you're probably at the back of the group. They're all rushing down the stairs to get out of here. You and your little warden next to you, who does not get a cool magic item because he's panicking, are running through the armory. Walk us through what Armis is looking for.
I think Armis is going through and he's looking for some sort of tool that will help to enhance his gunk abilities. Either a sort of club that he can channel it in, that if he hits someone with it, it'll automatically kind of bind them a little, or a piece of armor that he can kind of cover it all with, that if someone makes an attack on him, that their weapons or whatever will get stuck on him.
Oh, I like that.
That's a really cool
Sticky
one.
armor.
I think sticky armor might be the way to go.
sticky armor. That's the technical name for it, I think.
Yeah.
Sticky armor.
Sticky armor.
Yeah. Well, because there's gauntlets and then there's gunklets, right?
Yeah, yeah. I thought about
So he probably
gauntlets.
has gunklets on his arms.
Yeah.
Why don't you roll to see what power level that will be?
That was the D6.
Yes.
I rolled
Yes.
I rolled a 1 on that, and then I believe it's a +3, so 4 on that sucker.
So you will have when you activate this item, if you're being attacked, which you do as part of being attacked.
Yeah.
If the attacking creature is level 4 or lower, then you have a chance to, or you will essentially disarm them with that weapon.
Cool.
I am going to tell you that if you have a weapon stuck to your gunklet, I'm going to hinder your attack rolls, because
Sure.
you're going to have a sword waving around trying not to cut yourself in the face with it.
Yeah.
And then roll your d8 to see what your depletion number is.
8.
8. Great. So you're just trying to avoid a critical success. Aren't we all?
That's just my life, avoiding critical successes.
Oh no. Oh, it's too real. So as you're all heading down towards the basement exit of Cleanup Keep, you have this brief moment where you are you've grabbed your gear, you're all kind of stacked up by the door. Who's gonna kind of step up and take charge and lead out the back door of Cleanup Keep here in this
Davroid
moment?
will.
Davroid?
Yeah.
Davroid stacks up. Everyone else, you kind of watch Davroid for the count or whatever. And then Davroid, you're going to lead everybody out the door. He counts down and talk to me about what happens. When you leave, you have 4 directions you can go. You can go down the edge of the mountains, away from Shadow Peak, but probably away from your attackers too. You can go north and try and circle around, which is exposed, but it means you'll see any attackers. Or you can go south and try to circle around where you are in the woods, but if anyone's attacking you, they will be too, and so you'll have to deal with the cover.
With the north, so they'll see us and we'll see them?
Yes.
Let's do the safer route of going away from Shadow Peak and then circling.
Great. So Davroid leads the group of you down the side of the mountain. Are all of you just going to kind of keep pace with him?
Mm-hmm.
I'll roll.
Okay. So then Frode is going to roll ahead, essentially. Yeah. So Frode, you begin smashing through trees.
Willard is bringing up the rear, keeping constantly kind of looking back as well to see if they're being followed.
Great. Willard, you do not see anybody following you at this point in time, but as you watch, you hear a couple of gunshots and you see different stuff, kind of little poofs of dust kind of echoing off of Cleanup Keep. You get the sense from looking at it this way that what's happening is there are remote teams of long riflemen who are attacking, but there's maybe nobody close enough to rush in, which is kind of a risk. And even as you're thinking about it, you're like, that means that they're probably gonna, and then you see another huge explosion rock the side of Cleanup Keep and a chunk of roof falls down as heavier magical weapons of some kind are involved.
Jeffrey!
Okay, I say Willard is gonna try to kind of whisper yell to the group, if that makes sense, to not be too loud to overhear other people. But
They're attacking from range. That's a barrage. Be ready to run into them as we leave.
Okay, and as you make your way down the side of the mountain here, there's nothing in particular in front of you that's going to cause danger. Frode, you're rolling ahead of the group, and so as you kind of smash through the last couple of trees and you get to your feet, you look around in your immediate vicinity, doesn't seem like there's anything here to attack you. You can kind of circle, there's like a long way or a short way to get back into the mountains. Unfortunately, because of the way the world is working, you don't have access to Mickey or his layrite platform. And on foot, it's going to be either a day or 2 days hiking through the mountains to get back to Shadow Peak and attack them. So the group, Frode's looking around, you kind of secure the area. And as everybody else rolls up, Frode, you realize that you are at a glade you've never explored before. There's like a nice little lake over there like a small one, a little pond off to one side. And the rest of the group comes in. And for a brief moment here, everything is tranquil. The very distant sounds of, explosions and debris, you can still hear every now and then as different attacks are conducted.
This is a nice little place we got here.
The calm before the storm, as they say.
I don't know. I think there's storms happening
Pretty
up
stormy.
there. Yeah.
Calm within the storm.
This might be the eye of the storm.
Eye of the storm. There we go.
Can we help them in some way? I feel bad. Jeffrey's up there.
How we help them is by succeeding in our mission.
You hear a distant fire burst out of Jeffrey.
Godspeed, Jeffrey.
I think Jeffrey will be okay.
If he's not okay, I'm gonna be upset.
I know.
I agree with Davroid, though. The best way we can help is to succeed on our mission. Let's rest for a moment, gather our strength, and then we won't be able to fly or levitate. It's kind of scary. I have mixed feelings about it. To our location, so we just need to start moving soon.
I, Cleo, have a question for the DM.
Mm-hmm.
Does the Fey world, if I were to go into the Fey world and then exit the Fey world somewhere else, will I exit farther than I traveled in the Fey world?
Yes. Distances are not equivalent. So in the Fey, you could travel for a couple hours and come out, several days from where you started.
You just have to know.
But yeah, it'd be a matter of figuring out. There are also not identical landmarks. There are a few things, like that big tree you saw way out near Oat. That tree is also going to be in the Fey. So there are a few areas where it really does cross or coincide, but not very many.
All right, I have a plan.
All right.
It's gonna, from what I could tell, and others you may correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's gonna take us a couple of days to get to Shadow Peak. Storm Peak.
Yeah,
it seems
like 1
very
to 2.
edgy. Yeah. So 1 or 2 days. I could shorten that, but it requires some planning and some thinking that perhaps
I don't feel safe rolling in the same way that you do. I don't have rock skin, so rolling down mountains just doesn't.
We gotta go up mountains, and we're not gonna be rolling.
I believe Frode is proposing we use the Feywild to traverse a longer distance.
Yes. And I could give us in there, and I know of a landmark that would at least point us compass direction in the right way. It would be distance, and whether or not we actually could see that landmark that might cause issue.
Wasn't time longer in there? Last time you guys went in, you were in there for 30 minutes, and it took a week or so, several days. I don't remember.
It took about a day.
Took about a day. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean,
but we could get there.
We could get there
between the distance and the. I see.
Yeah, it could save time.
It's so crazy, it just might work.
Do you know where the exit point would be?
Well, we'd have to do a little bit of math. I mean,
I can do the math if I have the numbers.
Well, think about it. We exited not too far from Andromeda's mansion, and we ended up how far away from We should walk.
Up the hill from you,
Tug.
another huge chunk falls off the side of Cleanup Keep.
Oh!
You can actually see through the trees now. Jasper has leapt up on top of like the remainder of the roof, and he's holding that rifle of ice knife that you brought back, and he is like single-handedly firing back. Everybody else is working on an evacuation.
Okay.
Holy cow.
I'm gonna start setting up the circle just in case. But think about the last time we went into the Fey world and think if you can use that to guesstimate distance.
Okay. Josh, I would like to make an intellect roll.
This is going to be a hard one.
Yep.
This is going to be an intellect difficulty 8.
Okay, so I know a little bit about everything. So maybe that'll help with like the math part of it. Free effort. I can spend up to 5 effort.
It's a level 1 task. If you spend all your effort on this, Davroid is really doing a lot of math here.
Yes. I'll take the level 1.
Davroid, equations begin floating in front of your head in a tangible way that everybody else can see. You have a target roll of 3.
Armis, can you grab that shell over there? We're gonna need that.
Are you seeing these numbers?
7. You succeed.
Davroid is like frantically and quickly scribbling on his notepad. He's like, 1, carry the 2. Decimal. Okay, I think I have it.
I'll be honest, a couple months ago, I would have been a hard no on this idea. But I'm trusting you. And I just need to ask you frankly, straight up. Do you think this will work?
I do.
Okay.
Good enough for me.
Let's do it.
All right, I'm adjusting the circle. All right, now I need everybody to stand at your cardinal directions. And what's your name, boy?
Oh, the deputy?
Speak up, deputy.
Shale?
Shell.
Shell like a seashell?
No, like a stone?
Yeah,
Shale.
Yeah, Shale?
Shale.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Good
it's a
boy.
very good name, Shell.
Yeah, it's a good name.
Good name.
It's super original.
All right, Shell. I'm gonna need you to stand in the center. You're gonna be our folk guy.
You want me in the center?
Yeah.
Are you? Okay.
Well, you understand that to get to the Fade, you have to be lost. And right now, you have no idea what's going on, so you're the perfect folk guy for us.
Take an XP. That's an exceptional reasoning. Oh, okay, that's totally true. I'll go to the center. Do I need to be like, should I be weapons ready? Like, is it gonna be dangerous in there?
No. I mean, it could be deadly, but you'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, don't show aggression. They might react to that.
Who's they?
Hey,
We'll find out who's back door about to bust down. All right, everybody, I'm assuming you know your cardinal direction that signifies your being. Obviously, I'm South Pole.
North.
West.
I guess that makes me east.
Wait, you're kind of. Wait, do you want to be? You might be more west because you're from from Tumbleweb.
Which is in the
you're right.
west.
It's sort of like Tumble West.
There we
All right,
go.
I'll take west.
I was really worried you're going to mess that up for us. Like,
We figured it out. We got there.
all right,
I'm just here for the ride. I don't understand what you're about to do.
everybody stand perfectly still.
All around you, on all sides, void, gray, white. It almost looks like fog, except there's nothing the fog is rolling over. It's just kind of cloudy. And as you sort of adjust, as your bodies reacclimate to being essentially incorporeal, I mean, you're here and you're in the ethereal plane, but to be ethereal is to lose your sense of what makes you material. You know, your skin's semi-translucent, you're looking around, and the rest of the plane begins to form as your minds re-enter this kind of plane of existence. Or for some of you, this is your first time here. Sprawling out ahead of you is a massive canyon where the mountain range was. Instead of going up, it goes down. There are a number of large trees that have grown across the canyon like bridges. And those bridges are like no rails, no handles. It's like natural tree bark that just stretches across the expanse in front of you. And as you're looking out at all of this, you know, you finally get your sense of like presence. You know, your feet feel like, oh, I'm touching the ground. everything is still grayscale. So the trees they look like trees, but they're gray. The ground, grassy, but it's gray. Just everything is in that kind of monotone experience. And you are in the ethereal plane.
Well, it worked. You know, I don't think I've really done it with this many people before. So that was everybody give a round of applause.
I don't think you've ever done this before, period.
Tomato,
Frode.
tomato.
You were trying to get to the Feywild, but you're in the ethereal plane. And as you look around, you realize that the ethereal plane, of course, is the bridge between the different echo realities.
Of course, yeah.
And in front of you, there are some bridges. And so if you could just figure out which bridge is the right bridge of these three nearly identical trees stretching across a canyon, that would probably lead to where you're trying to go.
Davroid, you did the math, right?
Yes. I did the math for the Feywild.
Yeah, well, we just gotta figure out what tree we're going across.
Wait, we're not there yet?
No, wait. All right, so I had to knock on the door. We were think about it like you're at a club and you knock on the back door of the bouncer. You know the bouncer. The bouncer's like cool guy, and he lets you in, but you gotta walk through a couple of hallways before you're actually in the club, you know?
You gotta dig the right tunnel.
Gotta dig. Hey, there you go. That's a great one. Dig the right tunnel.
All right.
So, what are these trees? Is there any distinguishing between the trees and bridges?
Perhaps with an intellect roll, there might be.
I will make an intellect roll.
Okay.
You know what? Frode will also make a perception.
Okay.
I got a 13 on the die, plus 3 is 16.
Okay.
And then I am specialized in perception.
Mm-hmm.
I also see the unseen enabler.
Mm-hmm. You could spend 1 XP to remember last time you were in the ethereal plane and had to decide which way was out.
True.
It would be relevant right now, but not forever.
You know what? Yeah, I'll spend an XP for that.
Great.
And I rolled a 3, but I was specialized and also could see the unseen.
So that puts you at a 15. So a 16 and a 15.
All right, we did it.
The two of you together, looking at the trees, you begin to identify very small, subtle differences as you approach the root systems of the trees. One of the trees has thriving roots, looks like it gets plenty of water, plenty of sun. Another one looks like they're almost petrified, like in the middle of winter where a tree's like kind of dried. Everything is really hard and like brittle on the outside. The bark is falling off or peeling. And then the last tree looks pretty much normal. And as you look down at the roots, you actually see a glimmer of color on the roots there.
Well, I mean, obviously it's not the petrified tree, but I'd imagine it's not the. I'd imagine it's the one who's just thriving out here, right? Like,
Oh, what about all them colors?
but the color, yeah. But I mean, we had color where we came from.
We did, I guess. That's true. That's true.
Isn't the Feywild doesn't have like a day-night cycle, right?
No.
I keep looking at my hands. I'm imagining that I can kind of see my gunk shooters like in the see-through. Because where does this gunk actually come from? Is it from my body? It was born out of nothing in a magical means.
Yeah, born out of XP.
Born out of XP. And through XP, if I may offer, I would like to say that these are linked to the Feywild. And my webs come from an inherently magical place. And I can see the thread leading me to the proper tree.
Oh, wow.
Through XP,
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll let you spend an XP on that player intrusion.
Absolutely.
Through XP, all things are possible.
True.
What a moment.
He holds up his hands. Frode?
Whoa.
Frode, as you look at Armis's hands, you see that the thread that normally comes out of his little spider arms instead goes back through his arm, traces through his shoulder, and then sticking out behind him, the kind of semi-translucent threads of his magical gunk are stretched back and away, and then they meet up with the root system of the tree that looks like overly watered. It's like super luscious and vibrant.
See, that's not right, Armis. You should get that checked out. I thought there was
Think
a
so? I'm really scared. I've nenever been here. I see through me and there's a thread coming out my back.
You should get a prediction for that.
Someone got a pill? Anyone got a pill?
You know, I was thinking about it. Do you not have like a little gland for your little arm butts?
What? I don't know. This isn't normal. It's not. Whenever we've been in a stressful situation, I just needed something and something channeled through me. And I haven't really questioned it before, but I
see.
I guess it might
so
be
you
linked.
made like a bargain to shoot gunk out of your hands in stressful scenarios. It's an implicit bargain. But I'm sure you've sacrificed some future potential for that. Perhaps some, if you were the gamified XP.
A terrifying thought, Frode, that I've lost something to gain this power. But, I mean...
We all do that with every day.
I guess so.
Everything comes at a cost.
Everything comes at a cost.
But that means... that must...
I feel like this has horrifying implications.
Wait, if we follow that, though, and it leads to that tree... It must mean you've made a negotiation with an unknown fae.
Well, let's go see him.
Cleo, take an XP for speaking that into existence. That's canon now.
Willard has been standing in the center of the group or between the trees. Have you guys seen the meme that's "Mom, I threw up," where it's the little guy like with his arms out like this? Willard has just been watching you guys all talk, wide-eyed, just like,
Oh, I don't understand any of this. And he's just like, okay, all right.
Armis, is there any fae in your lineage?
Not that I'm aware of.
Willard, I'm going to threaten you with a GM intrusion that presented with this overwhelming abundance of magic. You kind of reach down to what's safe and familiar for you, and you try and burrow down a little bit. And in finding that you can't, in the ethereal plane, burrow through the ground, you are hindered on your next intellect task from like the shock of it.
okay, yeah, that's I'll take that.
Okay, so take
Willard,
2 XP, give 1 away.
Willard's trying to he'll give an XP to Armis for this this crazy occurrence, but Willard is he's like watching this and he tries to burrow down just like a shallow hole for him to kind of just feel safe in, and when his claws just literally make no marks on the ground, he like stands straight up and is like, oh no,
Willard, remember what you said right before we got in here? You've grown a lot.
I know.
So
this is...
You can't dig there. There's no digging. You don't adjust the ethereal. The ethereal is just is.
It adjusts you.
Don't.
It's adjusting me.
All right. Let's go to the
get
Fae.
moving.
We know which one it is,
moving.
right? We all
We know what-
agreement?
yes, yeah.
Let's cross the tree. Be very careful. All right. Hold on to me and
Hold on to
hands.
Armis's thread.
Yeah, I'll try and maybe if I try and shoot here, it'll pull me to where we need to go. Is that fun?
I just want to see it happen.
What's that?
I just want to see it happen. Go
Okay.
shoot some gunk.
Tries to do it and just goes yanked back.
Yeah, it whips you backwards, and you probably have not appreciated the force at which you like shoot web at other people until now, when it is yanking you backwards. Willard
Moving
is
at the speed of
flung
Gunk.
a far distance. His back and shoulders slam into the base of the tree, and then he's like stuck there. Like the web is going into the root system of the tree that leads to the Feywild. So he's like pinned there with his, his arms out or whatever.
All right. Okay. Well, I'm coming over to help. All right, Willard. Willard.
Davroid will come over too.
Come over.
yeah.
And Shale,
Okay.
I see you looking around aimless. Come over here.
You told me I was lost, and I am. I'm lost.
Yeah,
I'm here. When I'm him, I'll put the hood up. I'm lost.
Hey, it's okay,
It's okay.
Shale. We're gonna make it through this one step at a time. First
Okay.
step,
Okay.
get your boss off the ground.
Just okay. You just here. Grab my hand. Grab my hand.
It's going through.
No, wait. Can you choose to shoot web?
What? I don't know.
Can you choose not to?
Can I in this moment?
Yeah. Could you just stop?
No. No, I don't think I can. I think I'm being yanked towards whoever did this to me.
No, I think you didn't you just say I'm gonna try and shoot web?
Yeah, and I
So
think-
just try not to.
I think it angered whatever's on the other side, or
No,
it knows I'm here.
Armis, no, that's your muscles.
Oh, that's my muscles? I can, okay.
You just gotta relax.
Okay.
So if you just
release?
you just don't.
Oh, now I feel ridiculous. So sorry, Shale.
Here, let me just, and Shale pulls out his like hunting dagger, and he goes towards the threads that are linking you to the Feywild. And he's like, I'll just cut.
No, don't cut it!
What?
What do you, it seems to be connected to me. I'm scared I'll lose my gunk if you cut that right now.
So you want to just live forever tied to this tree?
It's tied? What?
Well, it's in the tree. It goes into. You're standing now. Turn around and look at it. see the roots? It goes into the roots of the tree. I think if we just
no, he relaxed. If we just let him relax, maybe it will do
The tree will accept me.
Well, I didn't mean to go into the tree. I meant you can walk away.
Okay.
And I don't know what happened. Maybe you just pull the gunk with you.
I don't know.
Because you can walk in real life.
Okay.
It'll make it really easy to find our way back to this tree.
That's true.
Yeah.
There's a big gunk line.
Okay, great.
But
Yeah.
something else
I'll
might
just-
cut it while we're...
But that's rude.
I'm just going to start walking. Where do we want to go?
All right, let's cross the
we
tree.
know the tree we need.
Okay. As soon as you step onto the tree, a heavy wind whips up, battering you from side to side. I will need a speed or strength task to get across the tree bridge without falling into the ravine below. You're crossing probably 150 or 200 feet of expanse, but we'll just roll the one task and that'll cover getting across here. The difficulty is a level 5 if you use speed and a level 6 if you use strength, because it's easier to weave with the wind than it is to try and hold against its force.
I'm gonna roll speed. I have 2 edge, and I'm gonna use 2 effort. 15.
All right.
A 15. Davroid is able to navigate across. Do you want to flavor how he crosses the bridge in this buffeting wind?
So Davroid pulls out the shield. So he's gonna hold up the shield to kind of block some of it, and then just slowly, each step.
I too put up a sail to block the
I was
wind.
wondering about that, but hey, it's his flavor.
Well, no, the shield can levitate, so maybe the shield is levitating to help block it.
There it is.
Ooh.
There it is. He's got it.
Willard will follow, and I'm also going to use 2 levels of effort to bring that down to the level 3 speed.
Great. Target roll of 9.
All right. That is an 18.
An 18. Willard, you also successfully make it across. How does he do it?
Willard is just going to hug the ground or hug the tree trunk, essentially. Like, instead of walking straight up, he's just trying to catch the least amount of wind as possible, so he is essentially just crawling. Yep.
Boss, I don't know if I can make it across this expanse.
Come on,
Well,
Shale.
to use the gamifying analogy, I think I would probably only qualify as a level 3 creature, and this is a level 5 task or so.
Out here, Shale. Hold on to me. Here, we're gonna. You got some rope, Shale? You prepared?
You better have rope.
Yeah, and every
Gotta have
guardian has
something.
rope.
Come on, man. You can't not have rope. Don't look panicked at that. You're a basic adventure. You're prepared.
Everybody knows a guardian has rope.
Look, it's on his belt loop. Come on, Shale.
That broke Josh.
Broke me so early. They kept coming. Roll Armis.
Yeah.
Roll a level 3 target roll of 9 intellect task to see if you have trained your deputy to always carry rope. Target roll of 9.
16.
16.
Bingo.
Of course I have rope. Every gold guard is supposed to carry a rope. Armis taught me that on day 1.
Basic.
And
I always got mine, you know.
he pulls out his rope.
All right.
Here we go. Rope.
Tie it to your waist,
Okay.
and then tie yourself to my waist,
Okay.
and hold on tight.
Okay. I'm only capable of tying level 3 knots, and there's a level 5 task. So my
right.
not is going to be, it will help
right.
in that I'm not going to hinder your task by 2 steps,
You might
just
need
by
to,
1.
You might need to hold him
So
like real tight.
speed task 6 or strength task 7.
All right. Now, Frode stretches a little bit. The rocks and rumble. All right. They're walking. We're holding on. And Frode gets down on his knees and, like, with each hand just grabs the trunk, shoving his fingers deep in within the wood. And he's like, all right, we're going like this. I hope you hold on well. And Frode uses the muscles of iron we all heard of. The
course.
famed muscles
Naturally.
of
It's
iron.
From a 7
Classic.
down to a 6.
That's 3 effort.
Okay. Target roll
Difficulty
9.
3. It's the same thing everybody else is doing.
It's not so hard.
It's not so hard. All right, I gotta believe. I wrote a lot of nat ones to get them out of the way before the stream started, so... 14!
14! And just hand over hand in this.
You're holding on to shell.
I'm here, I'm holding.
Very good.
And you just inch your way. Everyone else, or I guess the 2 that went ahead of you, have just kind of like gone, you know, and navigated their way across. And you are just laboriously, slowly clawing your way across this thing. The wind is buffeting at you, the cloak flapping occasionally, like covering your eyes, you know, of the gold warden.
canvas shirt.
Just like, yeah, your canvas shirt billowing in the wind behind you. New tears on your like broken and repaired clothes over and over again. Yeah. Your rock golem muscles bulging out to the sides. Armis, you watch as Frode leaves carrying your deputy, and now it is just you by yourself standing at the edge of this bridge.
I'm gonna walk across that bridge.
Speed or strength?
It's gonna be a speed.
Difficulty 5 speed test.
We're gonna put a little level of effort in there.
All right. Difficulty 4, target roll of 12.
I have proficiency in climbing. Does that help?
Yep, that would be a difficulty. Well, I guess it depends. Are you walking across or are you climbing across?
I was gonna go on all my little legs and
All
arms. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be climbing. Okay, so then you can roll that with 2 eases. Level 3, target roll 9. The same that everybody else
That's
is
what everyone else
rolling.
is doing. I'm not doing that. I use XP. One XP.
We'll just run that back.
Count them. 1, 2 XP. There it is. 19.
19! That's a nearly critical success. You get a minor effect. You don't get all your XP back, but you get a minor effect for succeeding. What would you like your minor effect to be in this moment as Armis is skittering across the bridge here?
He stumbles. I don't know if this is an effect. It's just kind of a cool visual. He's going across and he's about to be launched off the edge, but then that little line of thread, you see a weird little spider face off in the mist, and he pulls him back into the thing.
Ooh, that is cool.
Oh, neat.
I love that.
And that's my little effect. That's
Great.
what saves me.
Excellent. Your spider face pulls you back up onto the tree, and then you continue climbing into the Feywild. And as all of you cross the bridge, the sun in the sky begins to kind of burn off the mist of the ethereal plane, and it also begins kind of setting to a sort of a healthy orange glow, not like scary blood moon rises, but like, you know, a sunset or a sunrise. And as you kind of get off the bridge, you enter blue hour. And so you find yourselves in kind of the permanent twilight of the Feywild. And as we end this kind of crossing of the bridge and you're standing there on the other side, there's now grass being fluffed by gentle breezes that are moving across. There's a nice happy sun in the sky. The music's going to change tone-wise. And you are standing here in the Feywild. Now, you know the direction to go with your math.
Yeah.
And you put a lot of effort into it.
I did.
So you're going to get yourself within a couple hours walking of Shadow Peak.
Okay.
However, it's still kind of a toss-up with the Feywild. Like, there's always variables you can't account for.
Yeah.
So what I would like us to do now is I'm going to have all 4 of my players roll a d8. And I'm going to use those numbers in a complicated mathematical way to...
Addition?
Yes. Addition. I'm going to put them into my proprietary formula to figure out where you arrive.
Ah!
we all rolled a 6.
You all rolled a 6?
Yeah, scary.
Jake, what'd you roll?
I hate to break the pattern, but I rolled a 4.
No.
Jake spends an XP to re-roll so he can't fail. Okay, so all of you are moving towards where you think you're supposed to go. However, before you get there, Frode, you notice a couple things. So you're going through the Feywild. The Feywild, rolling gentle hills. You see little, little animals and stuff scampering, happy bunnies,
It's like
and
going back to
birds
your
flying overhead.
Hometown nostalgia.
Yeah, there's like little stars glistening in the sky.
Really hoping your high school friends don't see you in the
Yeah,
street.
exactly. Yeah. You're going through, you're trying to avoid a particular gathering of people having a particular tea party. And you're maneuvering along. Two things happen. The first thing is that you notice behind you the looming large form of a spider kind of flitting through the shadows that are cast through the trees that you're walking between, following the group. Large spider creature. The second thing you notice is that tree that was your landmark near Oat for this is where the bad stuff was happening.
Yeah.
You see that tree in the distance and it's getting closer. You're going away from Oat right now. You're going deeper into the mountains, we think, with the math that we did. And I'll tell you that he did the math right. And yet you're sure that tree ahead of you is your landmark, which means that somewhere near here is that little gathering of tea party folk. So you have these two things kind of on either side of you as you're walking.
Is it like the disconcerting, I'm going at 5 feet per second, but the tree's approaching at 10 to 15 feet per second?
No,
Okay.
just the speed you're walking.
All right.
As all this is happening and Frode's taken it in, Willard, I want you to zoom us in on what's going through Willard's mind. If being in the ethereal plane is being surrounded by magic, then being in the Feywild must be being drowned in it. What is happening?
Willard, I think in the past, Willard would have felt scared and angry. I think in this moment, from some of the things he's learned in the last month or so, he feels helpless. He's not.
Confounded.
It's more like, I don't understand.
I don't understand what's going on. I don't know what the right or wrong thing to do is here. I don't want to mess this up. I just don't know what to do.
And maybe I'd like to think he's whispering that to Davroid as they're walking.
I just don't know what to do.
I think Frode could offer some consolation. He's familiar with this saying.
Consolation prize.
Not consolement.
I don't want to. Would it be okay if I talk to him while we're doing it? I don't want to distract him. I know that this is.
I think this is important.
Okay.
And Willard will go up to Frode as they're walking. I would assume that Davroid and Frode are kind of both at the front because they're the ones who kind of know where we're going. But Willard will kind of go up to Frode and he'll kind of tap a claw on his rock calf, to kind of get his attention.
Willard, yes. It seems.
Hey, what can I do?
Sorry,
I don't.
I don't want to slow down. I feel like I'm having a hard time talking to you. Can you just can I pick you up?
Yes, you may pick me up.
Frode just puts a hand on your shoulder and just with one hand just kind of picks you up, puts them on his shoulder. All right, that's a little better. Yeah, sorry. What seems to be the problem, Willard?
I know in the past I would have. You saw me freak out earlier. I just don't know what to do. I feel helpless.
Willard will kind of even just kind of hide himself behind Frode's shoulder, just to kind of almost shield himself from this really unfamiliar world.
I just don't want to mess this up. This is so important for all of us. And I just know that this place is dangerous, and I just don't know anything about it. And I don't know anything about this magic.
Willard, sometimes we find ourselves lost in what we do in life, and sometimes the answers aren't clear to us. They're gonna be obfuscated. It's a no
Obfuscated?
word. Obfuscated. Thank you, mysterious voice in my head. Obfuscated from you, and sometimes you're alone and nobody's there to guide you. But Willard, you're lucky. Look, you've got me guiding you through this uncertainty, as I'm sure Shale is very happy to as well. By the way, Shale, you can untie yourself, and it's okay to be guided sometimes. It's okay to be out of your element. I mean, you may have not realized it, but all of you did the same for me. You tell me when to stop negotiating, what's normal and right in society, and I don't know these things all the time, and it's a little. I feel a little lost sometimes in the city of Gaim and Hembley Who. But you all guide me just fine, and I put my trust in that. So, Willard, I just want you to put your trust in me.
Thank you. And I'd like to ask you to do something for me, if that's all right.
Yeah, sure. Anything, Willard.
Since now, you're in your element and I'm not in mine, if I'm about to do something stupid that would mess what we're trying to do up, please tell me to thunk.
Don't worry, Willard. I'll tell you that. Just whatever you do, don't look at the giant spider following us. I'm sure it's fine, right? It's fine. We're cool. We're cool. Yeah, I'm sure we're cool.
As you turn around and look at the spider and say, "Right, spider, we're cool," the dark figure in the distance kind of stops and it looks down like it's checking itself, like, me? Is he talking to me? And then Armis makes a speed defense task as he is whipped backwards by the threads of gunk coming out of his body.
It's happening again! Oh, speed. Sorry, I forgot there's a thing.
Too busy role playing.
19!
Nice.
Success with a minor effect. You are thrown backwards towards the spider, and its goal was to catch you in its mandibles. So you obviously succeed on not being caught there. With your minor effect, how would you like to flavor what's happening here?
I think he's being pulled back, and he somehow gets to get his elbow into the ground and does a sick little roll, and goes around and does a few flips and lands on the face of the spider and grabs it by the mandibles.
Okay.
Well, hello.
You're holding it by the mandibles. The mandibles click underneath, and it goes, "Failure!" And then it tries to slam you onto the ground. It's not going to actually make an attack this round because it's already done an attack, so you don't get hurt by it, but it tries to shake you off, and you kind of hold on, waving around. What would you like to do? We'll call this your turn, if you will. If we were going to gamify it.
I would like to, if we were going to play a game, I would like to try and, goodness, how would I do this? I want to just try and wrap around it as it's trying to slam me down. I want to crawl around the other side of the neck and use the cord that's connecting us and just try and get it around it and kind of hold on and kind of get it to where it can't do much of anything.
That sounds like a speed task to try and loop it. That's a maneuvering thing. So let's have you make a speed task of 4. Target roll of 12. The rest of you are just watching in the distance as Armis, at first it's oh no, Armis got yanked out, but immediately he seems to take control of the situation. He does a sick flip and lands on top of it, and you're just all of you kind of talking and watching. Frode is still frozen with that you're fine, right?
And Willard is just not looking because he was told not to look at the spider. He's just oh, what's happening? I don't want to look.
Willard, take an XP for that vulnerable moment too. That was awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Do I get an XP for being a puppeteer?
No.
Okay. I'm going to use some effort on this.
Okay.
So that's 3, right?
Yep,
Target
3.
9.
3 points from your pool, bring it down to a 9.
We're going to use one more little point of XP there.
Reroll.
This is pretty sick what's happening right now.
Yeah.
There it is, 17.
Let's go.
17. You wrap it's almost like if you've ever seen one of those trick rides on a horse where they'll like jump off the saddle, take one step, jump back on, and they're facing backwards to like joust or shoot the bow. It's like that, except you kind of drop beneath its mandibles and hop right back up again to like wrap it up with web. And now you're essentially sitting behind like, there's like the stacks of eyes, and then behind that you're like kind of riding it, straddling its neck and kind of like reaching forward to hold on to its mandibles. The spider begins thrashing around. Is anybody else going to enter combat?
Frode, do we attack in the...
No! This is clearly a negotiation happening. We should not interfere. But I will say...
In the distance, it's just like thrashing into trees.
we should probably try to calm it. I think their negotiation is getting a little violent right now.
That's a little too much talking. That's going to be your round of combat, and the spider's going to take a turn. It's going to make a strength attack towards Armis. It's going to try and shake you off by just rearing up on its two hind legs and trying to like smash you into the tree behind it.
Oh dear.
That's a difficulty 4, target roll of 12, strength. And you know what? We'll ease it by 1 because you've got rope to hold on to. So 3, target roll 9.
You got this.
19 again!
Let's go!
Success with a minor effect. So it rears up and slams you back towards a tree, but you are unaffected by it. You hold on through the hit on the tree. How would you like to flavor the scene with your minor effect?
I would like to, as it goes to rear me back, I'm going to do like go slide, have my legs wrapped around it, go under its neck as it slams itself into the tree and hurts itself a little bit, and then just kind of loop back around. Like in the one motion, just, and as I'm down here, it hits, and then I'm back up again.
And a second loop of web maybe around its neck.
Nice.
Awesome. So you pull that off. He's still maneuvering. We cut back to the group who are talking. This is a negotiation. How are things going here?
Listen, it looks like Armis has it handled, and to interfere would mean that it would cause problems. It's just not the right way to handle. I think we should get a little closer to just keep an eye on things, make sure it doesn't get out of control. But he's got it handled.
You're the expert in the Feywild. I'll follow your lead.
This will be fun.
We cut back to Armis and the spider. Armis, it is your turn. The spider took an attack, and now you're doing stuff. You're kind of hanging off of it there.
I want to use Calm Stranger. You can cause one intelligent creature to remain calm as you speak. Creature doesn't need to speak your language, but it must be able to see you. It remains calm as long as you focus all your attention on it, and it is not attacked or otherwise threatened. In addition to the normal options of using effort, you can choose to use effort to calm additional creatures, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to talk it down. Hey, buddy, I don't know who you are, what's going on, but I'm not going to let you take control of me. So let's just talk this out. Look, what's your life like? How do you know me? Why am I a failure? I think if we just really calm down, if we just stop doing whatever it is we're doing right now, we can see eye to eye and come to an understanding.
So one key point of that ability is that the creature has to be able to see you, which means you will need to dismount or I guess lean in front of its many eyes.
Yeah, I want to like roll around like I did a second ago to dodge it and just be kind of like upside down in front of it and like grab it by the face. Listen to me!
You're like holding its top mandibles, its jaws opening and closing with you there.
You seem like a reasonable guy.
Little like, acidic spittle is kind of falling onto your suit, like wearing through some of the patches and stuff on it. You're like hanging down there. And the spider very slowly begins kind of, stopping the thrashing and looking at you, and it comes to rest.
See, they got it handled.
It's staring towards you, and now it's just locked eyes.
All right, good. We're just gonna have a normal conversation, all right? We're just gonna remain calm. Look, that sounds like a purr to me. You're such a sweet young thing. Look at the, I know. Why don't you just tell me what's going on, friend? Why are you so mad? What's that?
You're a failure.
Well, why? What have I done? I think I'm doing okay for myself. Look at my suit.
You have fled your purpose.
Well, it'd be nice to know what that purpose was.
For years.
Oh, okay.
Failure to your family. Failure at your job.
Now, hold on. I'm doing a little better at that one.
Failure.
Look, okay, listen. I know I haven't been perfect, and things have been very difficult in my life, but I'd like to think that I'm making progress and that I'm making new friends and that I will see my family once again and we will reunite. I've had a very peaceful, loving conversation with my good buddies, and I think that I can at least try. I can try and be better.
Too afraid to even face them.
What the? That was the moment. That was before my life-changing thing with my friends. I'm a different man, I swear. Please, spirit, please. Is this the future of things? Is this a vision of things that will be or things that may be?
This is a vision of things that are.
All right. Is there any reasoning with you? Can you just? What if I promise? What if I make a deal? You seem like we can make a deal. What if I make a deal that I'll face my family and I'll talk to them? Is that
Frode, make an intellect task, difficulty 4.
Whew. All right. I am trained in feign negotiations.
Hell yeah.
Okay, I'll ease it by 3 for you, or ease it by 1 for you.
Ease it by 3.
Difficulty 3.
He said.
Verbal contracts are binding in a state.
It was said at the table. It happened.
I'm going to use a XP.
That was a beautiful 3 right there.
10.
10, that's higher than a 9.
There you go.
Frode, who sees through illusions to see things as what they are. Frode, who's always been a little weird in the material plane, who doesn't understand the way that normal creatures interact. Frode, who's been fighting his demons for 2 centuries now. You recognize that Armis is face to face with Armis. This creature is a manifestation of his inner demons.
Whoa!
Bastard.
What is it, Frode?
This is, I don't think I've witnessed.
Willard's still determinedly not looking. Here's Frode go,
He's
whoa!
facing the opposite direction on Frode's shoulder still. Like he's just like facing front. He's like, I'm keeping watch. I'm watching our backs.
Okay, so, Armis?
Yes, I'm just talking to this handsome young man.
That handsome young man is handsome because he's you.
My God, I'm gorgeous. What's that mean for me right now? He's so mean. I'm not this mean to myself, am I?
Hate this long? Like I know I have some problems I'm working on, but this is vicious.
This is all right. That's sounding a little judgmental. You said it was fine before.
I'm sorry. You need to literally, either through negotiation or conduct. This is you're negotiating with yourself.
Oh fuck. God, I'm a wily bastard.
So either you need to defeat your demons,
or
solve.
Okay.
Remove them from existing by loving yourself.
Oh dear. All right.
The hardest thing Armis could face. Himself.
But this is important because it is you and not another entity. We can help.
Okay. Cool.
I was worried because I thought it was another, Fae creature, but it's just you. I mean, it's technically its own independent entity in the Fae, and it has its own implications. But for you, we're allowed to help because, of our bond.
Wonderful.
Oh, yeah, you're allowed to
You
look.
can
Willard,
look.
yeah.
It's just me, but
Willard, you see, relative to you, a spider that is probably 6,000% of your height, towering up in the air. Its mandibles snapping as Armis hangs on to its top 2 fangs, snapping like over his waist, little spittle kind of getting across his chest, burning little holes in the patches of his suit. It's not attacking anymore. It's been sort of calmed into a trance, and all of its eyes are just staring down at Armis, who's like right in front of it.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think from a previous campaign detail, there are giant spiders, maybe not this giant, but there are giant spiders down in the caves around Tumbleweb, right? Mm-hmm. So Willard turns around and he's expecting some sort of magical horror that he can't comprehend. Like obviously a spider is, a spider, but like something that's crazy. And he turns around and honestly, he's kind of like in his head, just like,
Oh, I've seen something like that before.
and so he's a little bit calmer. Like he's a little bit like,
Oh, okay. Yeah, Armis, let's we'll see if we can help.
So
Are we?
you need to convince yourself
that you're not a failure.
In this moment, right now. All right.
Think about all we've
have the
accomplished.
opportunity to physically conquer your thoughts of failure right in front of you.
You're right.
Think about all the good we've done since starting this mission.
You're right. You're all right.
The spider hisses back at you.
Failure. You listen to me. You look at me. I may not like you. I may not be proud of who I am and what I've done, but I'm a different man. And I've worked hard to be where I am, and I've done good. I may not like you. I may not like my past, but I love me, and I like where I'm going. And I accept the failures that I have had in my past. And I forgive me.
And as he says this, the camera zooms in on Armis's eyes, and we see that moment, that handshake with Chasm Jasper. I trust you to do the right thing. And we flash through to this moment of him looking at a bottle of alcohol he didn't drink after his long night, having been faced with his family. And we zoom through it again, and we see him sitting around a campfire or around the glade with Frode, talking to his buddies. And then we zoom through, and we see this moment where he's looking into like the anime pool, and he sees the reflection of himself, and they turn away. And as he says this, the spider shrinks and it's getting smaller and smaller. All of you are watching as this demon gets smaller and smaller, and then with a little, almost insignificant little, you hear the threads are cut, and the spider that's been holding him back skitters off into the distance. Armis, take 2 XP for taking another step on your character arc. And Armis, you are released from your like little inner demon here, or at least you've taken a big step.
Yeah. I think he just lays on the ground,
Armis,
breathing heavy.
I've never seen that.
A big spider.
To be frank, nobody's I've ever seen actually accomplish what you just did. I've seen people fight their own demons, literally, beat it to a pulp for it to reemerge later when they're half the midlife crisis. But you did something. Almost stand up. You are a new man.
A new subbiter.
And I reach out my hand. I pull him up.
Ooh.
I forever respect you for being able to do.
Yeah, thank you. Can I just have a minute?
Yeah.
Just have a minute. He's gonna walk off by a tree and just start bawling his eyes out.
No.
Oh God! Oh! Oh, it hurts, but it's good. Oh no! Oh, I'm okay.
Shale, here. I'm gonna help you with the rope. You go.
Am I supposed to talk to him?
God,
He's like
love
he's my
myself.
boss, like he's an authority, so I don't. It feels weird.
Do you hear me, God?
It's like,
Look
weird to be like, hey,
upon
buddy, you
me.
doing okay? But like, I work for you.
Armis Thrupp, and see a man, not broken, but repaired.
I don't know. Maybe give him a hug.
I don't. But is that like appropriate? Like, I don't want him to.
I will
I don't want to
do
be
better.
harassing him. I don't know if it's.
Myself.
I don't know because you're not really like in the Gemstone Guardians, but like the Guardians have like we fill out a form.
Do you
about,
see
like,
him as your boss or as a father figure?
Mostly as my boss.
In the mirror,
I've only known him for like a week.
from this day, I will not.
Don't hug him then. That's
Okay.
I will.
Should I try
not
and like rein him in? Or?
try to tear my own eyes out with my long fingernails, yelling, "Why have you done this to
I
yourself,
keep trying
Armis?
to tell him he
Why?"
should clip his nails. Maybe just go
I'll
pat him on
point
the
at me
shoulder.
and say,
Pat him on the
"You're
shoulder.
a
That seems safe,
good
right? That's not going to get there's no
man,
harassment
Armis.
or anything if I just pat him on the shoulder.
Come back with a cigarette in my mouth. All right,
He comes
guys.
back on his own just to Shale's words up the courage.
All right.
Have another XP.
Are you good, Armis?
An
I'm great.
exceptional roleplay moment.
I feel so light. I feel really good.
Willard walks up.
Hey.
Willard will dismount the shoulder from Frode, and he'll go up to Armis and he'll look at him like solemnly with like a half smile, and reach out a claw for a handshake, and just say, "Come what may," and he'll shake his hand.
May come what is. I'm sorry, I felt I needed to say something. Thank you. Ooh,
That was intense.
you guys
Anybody
didn't.
else feeling like they need to take a break after that?
That
Like,
was good. No, I'm good. Let's roll. You guys didn't hear any of that, did you? Thought I just kind of got lost in myself.
I think I may have heard a couple of muffled
Just a
stuff.
few?
Just
a few
I couldn't
words.
make it
I
out.
was pretty far away.
Yeah.
Walked 10 feet.
It's far in the Fae, though.
Yeah.
It's like auditory things
Yeah.
work differently. They don't.
Is that tree running at us right now?
No,
It's just a tree.
Okay.
it is like metaphorically,
Oh, okay.
which does give like I've been seeing it like that, but no, it's just stayed the same distance.
That's cool.
As you continue moving in what Davroid is certain is the right direction to get to
Yes.
Shadow Peak,
Do you want to see the map?
the tree
No,
keeps
I
getting
trust
closer, despite the fact that it should be getting further away. Getting closer and closer until finally, where Davroid thinks Shadow Peak ought to be, that tree is. And so you've stopped probably a good hour or two's walk out because Frode knows last time he walked up to this tree, something bad happened to him.
No, this can't be right.
This is right.
I mean, let me see that map.
Just numbers on the paper. I don't know.
Lots of numbers.
It's a lot of math.
Did you factor in the
Yes.
change in scale
Yes,
and use the correct measurements?
I believe so.
Now, I'm
Unit
gonna...
conversion?
Yes.
I'm going to use a GM intrusion to give you a piece of information that I think I should have given you earlier, so you're going to get 2 XP out of it.
Okay.
One of the other things that Jasper learned in his interrogation with the captain is that in addition to Shadow Peak itself, there are several sentry towers spread out throughout the mountains that are connect through like underground tunnels, like foxhole type tunnels. So you could choose to, you have kind of 3 ways in, right? Like you could go through one of the remote towers, which would just be a matter of like start nearby and then look for a tower, break into that tower and go in through the tunnels. You could go in the front door, which, you know, it's a building. It has a door on it. Or you could try and sneak around to, like, the mountains reach above it. And so you could try and get above and then jump over the fence and go in through the back of the, you know, it has like a big gate and fence, you know, around it. So you could try and climb over the fence or jump over the fence and go in through the back door of the property. Okay, you don't know that. Good luck.
All right.
And I'll give Davroid 2 XP for that to give one away, since that's the kind of information he would probably be working with.
Frode, take one.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, I've spent a lot.
Davroid would
Re-rolling.
have probably proposed going through the towers as like the least amount of effort.
Or at least the group could certainly start scouting there, because you can always
Yeah.
leave if you don't like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The option with tunnels is the one I prefer.
All right. We don't have to get any closer to the tree then?
No, it's this spot.
It's just a spot. Okay. Okay. Deep breaths.
What's the tree? Is that an important tree?
But no, it's a tree. Come on, it's just big. You know, I'm scared of big things. Didn't you know? Every time we walk through the mountains, I'm like, ooh, big mountain.
Willard looks up at Frode with a squint, just like,
Remember, I trust your judgment when it comes to these things.
Oh,
I can't have you deceiving me about this tree.
Okay. Well, it's something about my past that
Oh no.
really shouldn't be here.
It's going to be a theme while we're here.
That's why we should leave.
Do you need to take care of things, Frode?
I mean, I could. I could also make things 1,000 times worse.
Let's focus on the mission. The Armis thing just kind of happened.
Yeah, that's true.
If we don't need to approach the tree and it has something to do with your past, I say let's leave that for if we survive.
Well, I mean, if they have hats in the vicinity, it could cause problems.
You think we can nix the hat thing right now?
Potentially.
Think you might be able to
Just-
set it square?
Just for the record, I'm pretty sure from all of our research that they wear cloaks. So you probably don't have to worry about hats.
What about hoods?
What if there's a fashionable guy in there?
Shut up. They're part of the cloak, so they're cloaks, they're garments. the lanky shirts that you happen to pull over your head. They're not hats.
Okay. I'm just making sure it won't be an issue.
All right. Well, all right. Then let's deal with it later. We don't need to dig into.
I mean, we can't get out of here without you.
Also, I'd be really scared to go with all of you into that because.
Frode.
Yeah.
One guy who faced his demons to another. Pretty worth it. Pretty good. I feel light as a feather right now. It's up to you, but
It is your decision. We can't leave without you.
about this, you want to pull a card out of my pack? Evens you go, odds you don't.
All right.
Frode pulls out a jack. What do I?
I'll take those odds.
All right.
What if it's a face card?
If it's a face card, we'll
Redraw.
I haven't looked at it yet, but there it is in really small pixels that the camera can't see. But now
you don't go.
it don't go.
You don't go.
Frode doesn't go.
Another day, Frode.
Chad says Armis just discovered therapy and is like, everyone should go to therapy.
Well, we're headed on the way back. How about that?
Yeah, on the way back.
Okay.
Frode kind of is a little defeated in that.
Okay.
He wanted to.
And yeah, he starts
Frode, sometimes.
kind of like, yeah, I didn't want to go.
Sometimes when you flip a coin and it comes up an option and it doesn't feel right, maybe that means you should have made the other one. You know what I mean? Sometimes you want pizza or you want a burger.
All right, fine. Frode just starts running,
Sprinting. Okay.
towards the tree until he crosses any kind of threshold that feels odd. A glade.
Okay. Yeah. Frode, you're running towards the tree.
Just wait there. I'll be right back.
You emerge from the woods that you've been walking through into this kind of clearing. The tree is still, maybe another half hour's walk from where you are now, but in front of you, kind of curled up in a circle on the ground, is a little tea party. There are a number of creatures kind of sitting there, and one of them, facing away from you, does not have a hat on his head, but is kind of leading the tea party. He's got, a couple mugs out, and he's saying, "Thank you all for assembling today. As usual, our party is marred by the loss of our finest member, but not to worry. We will still make the best of the situation that faces us.
Proper etiquette.
We will go from. Oh, what's that? Someone behind me. Okay. And the creature turns.
Frode takes off his shirt and ties a blindfold on his head.
Okay.
And Frode is like, step one, and he kneels down and bows his head.
Welcome to the tea party circle.
Hello, and good afternoon. And
What's your name?
well, I have been given many, but perhaps if you're willing to trade that later, and if I'm willing, we can talk about it. But you may call me the Forsaken.
Forsaken by what? For what?
Well, right, step two, okay. I have come here in reconciliation of my own foolery.
Your own foolery. There's been foolery with this one. In the circle, you can't see any of them because you're blindfolded, but you hear like, aha, foolery. And they'll just kind of looking toward you.
Yes, I've made a transgression in the past, and I have come here today, if you humbly oblige me, to perhaps reconcile that past mistake.
I will allow an opportunity to reconcile. What have you brought for my tea party in reconciliatory offering?
I have brought my learnings, the past couple of centuries of my life since the last time we have met.
You wish to leave all you have learned in 2 centuries here?
We'll narrow down what that means. But it is a teasing offering, and perhaps I can explain more if you'd be so willing to let me join you for tea today.
Well, you could join us for tea, but unfortunately, several centuries ago, somebody stepped upon my tea kettle, and the tea has spilled upon the ground.
I'm going to use the mental link we still have and see if it works in the Fae. And I'm just going to reach out a thought to Willard and be like, Willard?
Can Willard still
Willard
hear
hears
even
him.
though we're in the field?
Yes?
I require your assistance.
How so?
Your tea.
Willard, your mind flashes back to episode 1 of the cleanup crew when Frode said, I'll make you a deal. I'll answer one question if you will provide me this brew at a time and place of greatest need.
Wow. So Willard will immediately take off his pack and take out his not only the first he'll take out like a big flat, like a large multiple serving flask of the tea.
I said, do you need the tea, or do you need me to make some fresh?
I need both.
All right.
And he kind of puts the flask back in, and he's going to take the whole pack. He puts his pack back on. He says, just head for the tree.
Just head for the tree.
Anything I should know about before?
Act as if though you're in front of royalty. Do not give your name or any other information you do not wish lost.
All right.
And he'll kind of turn to Davroid and Armis, and he just says,
I think I'm gonna go help Frode. He said he needs my tea.
All right.
Don't we all hear that? Okay.
oh, I guess. Oh, okay. Well, he still says that.
Yeah.
Because he's like a boomer when it comes to magic, even though he doesn't hate it anymore.
Yes, Willard, we heard. You go.
Okay. All right.
Good luck.
And
It's
he
fine.
starts heading off towards the tree.
Willard, your little footsteps through the grass as you emerge from the forest into the glade. This is a big moment for Willard, too. Willard trusting Frode's judgment in a magical place. Willard being willing to, follow some directions and not lone wolf it, being part of a team. And Frode, as you hear his little footsteps kind of patter up behind you, take us into Frode's mind. How's Frode feeling right now?
Frode, his heart is beating at 1,000 miles per hour. This is what has set his life askew hundreds of years ago. And at this moment, the tiniest words, the smallest sentence, the slight movements of his shoulders or hands might make or break everything he has worked towards in those couple hundred years.
Willard arrives with his tea.
Okay, step 3, an offering.
Willard will show up and kind of walk up behind Frode and see that Frode has the blindfold on, so he'll kind of tap a claw against Frode's shoulder. But then also remembering, as he does that, he kind of remembers what Frode said about act like you're in front of royalty. And in Tumbleweb, they don't have royalty, so Willard doesn't really know how to act in front of royalty, but he does his best guess, which is like a half kneel, half bow. Just kind of, it says nothing.
You don't have your blindfold on, so you can see the creatures around the circle. They are all small animals. There's a fox and a bunny and a squirrel, and all of them are looking at you like nobles look at people. Like it's a little condescending.
Okay. Well, he still does the half kneel and the half bow, and he kind of will whisper to Frode's ear as he kind of has his claw on Frode's seated shoulder, and he'll kind of
should I serve everyone?
Is this? Have you brought some tea?
I, if you're so willing, have decided I'd be willing to offer my friends tea here and for both of our seats here at the tea table today, if you're willing.
Wow, that sounds wonderful. Some nice rejuvenating tea. What variety of tea have you prepared for us, stranger?
prepared the only tea that I make, and I make it because I know how to make it. It is peach tea.
A sensible reason to make it. Join us at the circle, and you put your. I guess peach tea is probably in like a big pitcher, right? Not a kettle so much. So you put like the pitcher in the center, and they've all got their little teacups still. And you can see as you join the circle, and as Frode takes a seat, just as Frode's about to sit down, right beneath Frode there is a crumpled hat that he's about to sit on, and you have an opportunity to kind of slide it out of the way. Do you take it?
Yes, Willard will take like the toe of his boot, and like it's sticky. The bottom of his boot is sticky.
Oh yeah,
because of their climbing boots. And so he like takes the toe and just kind of taps the edge of the hat, and then just scoots it just out of the way.
Activating your climbing boots requires you to roll the depletion die for it.
Okay.
But I'm not going to make you roll a task to succeed on the save here. So it's just rolling to see if your boots fail after this.
They do fail.
They
That's
do?
the one use
Oh
he gets
my
out of
gosh! Your boots fall into disrepair as you can feel like the sticky works, but something about the Feywild is interacting weirdly with your magic item of these boots. And so as you kind of slide this hat out of the way, and Frode takes a seat kind of heavily on the grass, he's blindfolded, he just kind of thunks down. As Frode thunks, the hat springs up next to you. Back into its full size, and now you're just holding a full-size hat. Oh my goodness, and a hat! I've been feeling a little warm. Might I have that hat?
Yes, you may have this HAT, and
hand it over.
Okay, you hand it over, and the creature says, Now, there's no need to shade yourself from the sun with head coverings such as this. A simple hat would do the trick for you. Why don't you take that off?
You talking to me?
Yes, you. Guest. You're a guest.
If I may humbly make so, I believe the last time I visited, I made a transgression against the hat, and I've...
Oh, what is a transgression? All is forgiven, surely.
Then, may my curse be lifted? I would make a terrible guest to your tea party should I see that hat otherwise.
Well, I don't recall putting a curse upon you, but if so, and the person picks up his tea and like, cheers, and you feel something inside your body shift. And you kind of get this like magical sense.
Thank you. And Frode just gingerly but slowly undoes the blindfold.
As he does that, you see Willard like try to hide it, but he's like tensing up, like
like getting ready for a fight.
Yeah.
Frode, everybody at this gathering is wearing a hat.
Hello. It is so fine to see you all.
Perhaps one for you. And the jester who's leading the tea party pulls out a hat. It's like teeny because he's a fox. He like holds out this teeny fox-sized hat to you.
Thank you.
Okay, it was going to be 2 XP. Well, really, that's 4 XP because you resolved your character arc. Take 5. 1 for the roleplay moment there. Take 5 XP for resolving your arc to undo a curse. And
Willard will reach into his pack. He's already, distributed the tea, but he'll reach into his pack as everyone puts on their hats, and he takes out his black hat that in the first session he had to take off in the presence of Frode and sit on it.
Yeah.
Unknowingly symbolically representing what Frode did previously. And he puts his hat back on, kind of straightens it, and then gives Frode like a smile and a nod.
Oh. Well, let's have
Willard,
a
that's
merry
good symbolism.
time.
Take an XP.
Let's share some tea, and for letting us join you, perhaps I can tell you I have met Andromeda.
Andromeda?
Are you interested?
Interested? I mean, I'm taken, but
Well, sorry, interested in the knowledge, of course.
oh, the knowledge, the story of Andromeda. I wouldn't mind the story of Andromeda.
Though, if I may ask, in return, Would Frode know that your boots don't work anymore? Did they change?
Frode's probably figured it out.
Okay.
That Willard's boots don't work anymore? I mean, Willard wouldn't make a visual indication of it. His whole goal of sliding that hat out of the way was to like not make a big deal out of it at all. That's why he used the boots to just kind of quickly take care of it.
Frode would look down and just notice the boots look wrong, like perhaps a little less shiny, and be like, oh, well, you know, I think I could tell you this story if you'd be willing to mend these boots for my friend.
What a great idea! I mean, what a terrific idea! I'd make that trade in a heartbeat. Why, all those boots need is some polishing. Let's have some peach tea. And he takes the peach tea and pours it over the boots, confirming Willard's idea that peach tea cures all ills. And the boots, like, kind of, you feel them warm back up, and they have new life. Same depletion die, thing for in the future. But your boots of climbing are back in action, so to speak.
Oh, thank you very much.
So. Yes, you know, we were sent, and, you know, the exact consequences, or I should say context of how we met Andromeda is not too much. What you need to know is that we found a hole at the bottom of a lake.
A hole at the bottom of a lake.
A hole
and
at the bottom of the lake.
The plumbing of clouds. I'm kind of skipping through the conversation a little bit. The plumbing made of clouds, and your detective friend fixed it.
Yes, and the fishermen, don't forget the fishermen.
Oh, yes, of course, the fishermen. Yeah, I wonder if they would like some tea one day.
Oh, I'm sure. But
Davroid, by your calculations, you are sort of burning time here. And so maybe from the distance, you can kind of, telepath in or something and kind of warn them.
I hope all is going well, but we are on a time crunch and time moves differently here.
And anyway, that's how my humble self found my way back to the mortal realm.
Well, you're welcome at our tea circle anytime.
Oh, thank you. And, you know, it's an honor to be here.
And you, short fellow.
Thank you. I love sharing peach tea. It is one of my great joys.
I'm getting that sense. And as the two of you head back to Davroid, it is now time to re-enter the material world. Will you go to the tree, which is where you think Shadow Peak is, or will you enter from afar and look for a sentry tower?
The ladder, between the ladder and perhaps reaching down and helping Davroid